I want to end the I need that camera chat. Now, I talk a lot on this channel about how a 5DSR or 5D Mark II is ample kit. You don't need anything better than that. And someone in the comments is always going, well, yeah, but I shoot weddings and I need high ISO. I shoot sport and I need fast shutter speed. I shoot this and I need blah, 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 blah. Whatever it may be. Let's look into that because I've got some pretty damning evidence for you. There's a few phases to this. You need to stick with me. And if you still believe at the end of this you need that kit, let me know in the comments below. I shoot in a controlled, contrived environment. I shoot at base ISO. I shoot at f16. I have tens, actually probably hundreds of thousands of watts of light coming out. We have the best possible conditions. And I know when you see me shooting like that and you go, yeah, but I shoot a wedding and it's dark and dingy and autofocus. I shot weddings on a 5D Mark I, which had 1600 ISO and a central autofocus point that worked. The rest, yes, they existed, but only 9 of them. They did nothing. And I say that and people are like, yeah, but if you're competing against photographers, I didn't miss shots. I didn't miss exposure. I didn't have problems with noise. I just exposed properly, I shot properly, and everything looked great. And of course, a newer camera will do a better job. But next time you're talking sports and you're thinking, wow, I need to have this great camera because I want to be a sports photographer. This book here, I picked out some of my favorite books in photography for various reasons that they're my favorites. Firstly, Annie Leibovitz is my favorite photographer as a person. I like her approach. She doesn't necessarily create my favorite work, but definitely my favorite photographer. Now this is Annie Leibovitz, The Olympics. This is a study of black and white photography for the USA team, 90s, I'm gonna say 92, but I might be very wrong there. The portraits in this book are breathtaking. They're beautiful, they're stunning, they're beautiful. Yes, she's got action shots before someone goes, she wasn't freezing action. She's got action shots, she's got it all. This was shot on a combination of a Leica M6 and a Mamiya RZ67. They were the two tools she was using at the time of this. Shot on film, developed pro photo lighting when she used lighting. Manual focus for everything. Low ISO, 400 ISO would probably be the max should have been going for there. The film does not look pushed. It looks like if anything it was pulled and then fixed in development. But old gear, got the job done. Do you know how hard it is to shoot a moving subject on a Leica? Or on a Mamiya RZ for that matter. But here's the thing, she worked out how to do it, she did it, she nailed it, her work's brilliant. And yes, it would be easier with a mirrorless camera, but it's not impossible without one. And we're talking here going from a Mamiya RZ67, which is a nightmare to shoot with, to a mirrorless camera. Going from a DSLR to a mirrorless, it's negligible. Now this is my favorite photographer of all time, I've said that twice already. This is William Eggleston. This is the inspiration behind my work. His book is called The Democratic Forest. And of course, you're going, yes, he's an artist. He's not trying to shoot on the wire. He's not trying to shoot whatever. People talk to me about dynamic range and color and sharpness. These are sharp. These are like, I mean, looking at these on the page, they are just breathtakingly detailed. The colors are beautiful. Eggleston shot on Leicas predominantly. He did shoot on some medium formats with roll film backs, but predominantly on a Leica. And he had a whole collection of them. And he shot on Kodachrome 64. I don't believe he liked the Kodachrome 200 when it was available, but Kodachrome 64. These are better than most people complaining that they need to upgrade their camera. Most people, myself included, will never produce work of this quality. Never. The work he's produced in his lifetime set a genre. And of course, we can't all expect to produce work at such a level that we start our own genre. That is highly, highly unlikely. The best we can hope for is that we slightly adapt a genre to our own style. Lee Miller, my favorite. For one picture, and I'm going to see if I can quickly find it in here while skimming through. Lee Miller is a war photographer who shot for Vogue, for Harper's Bazaar. She was the first female war photographer. She used predominantly a Rolleiflex. I don't know much more off the top of my head than that. That's probably the limit of my knowledge on this. I found the picture as well. She was in a relationship with Man Ray. She hung out with Picasso, Giacometti. There she is. This is the one. You probably can't see it from here, but I'll get one to pop up on the screen. This is Lee Miller taking a selfie, having a bath in Hitler's bathtub. That's a selfie. That'd go down well on Instagram. Again, Rolleiflex, twin lens reflex camera. Nothing fancy by today's standards, nothing really fancy in those standards. Now this person here, I do not know the photographer personally. This is Jacques Moreau, but this is a late partner of mine's great-great-great-grandfather, or something along those, 1914. Now the reason I love this book here, one is the photos are beautiful, they're breathtaking, despite the fact there's a lot of dead bodies in here. But two is you can see where he's manipulated some of the photographs and removed people. There's, again, winning at flicking through. On this page here, there's a person here that's in the process of being deleted because for whatever reason they shouldn't have been there, so they're being edited out in the darkroom. Clone stamp extraordinaire. This would have been shot on sheet film on a large format camera, most likely looking at the detail in the print, on at max 100 ISO film. So obviously, the kit doesn't matter. These are photographers at such a level we could never even hope, even dream. Me dreaming of being the next Annie Leibovitz is delusional. Hoping to be the next William Eggleston, delusional. If William Eggleston can do it with a Leica and a roll of Kodachrome, and I can't even get close with a 100 megapixel technical camera, what does that tell you of the importance of photography? And I'm sure someone's going, yes, but Annie Leibovitz does this. I shoot weddings every weekend. I need reliable, yeah, for sure. Once your business makes enough money that you can justify spending that, and go and look at something like Profit First, because almost every photographer I've helped their business spends more than double what they should do on kit. And this is all based on very good research on what makes a company flourish and what makes it go bankrupt. And lo and behold, those who don't change, they go bankrupt. You do not need these things. And yes, if you're shooting sports, a higher shutter speed or higher frames per second, more to the point, is more useful. But if all 20 of your frames per second are crap, it doesn't matter because Annie Leibovitz got one frame every 10 minutes and she nailed it. There is definitely something to be said for waiting for the moment in sport and capturing it compared to just spraying and praying. There's also the added cost of looking at all the images, and everyone's going, oh, cost is time, time is money, all the rest of it. It's like, yeah, time's money when you want to buy kit, but when you've got to sift through 10,000 frames that you bursted out, time doesn't seem to be money anymore, miraculously. In the area I work in, commercial photography, for sure, having a better camera makes life better. And for sure, in weddings, as I used to be when I can speak from experience, having a better camera makes life better. But it does not maketh the photographer. It is not the difference between success and failure. It is not the difference between winning a client and losing a client, and it is not the difference between a good photograph and a bad photograph. None of the photographs in these books, none of them are good or bad because of sharpness. None of them are good or bad because of dynamic range. And none of them are good or bad based on whether there's a mirror or not. Leibovitz shoots with mirror and mirrorless. Granted, film is the sensor, but a Leica is mirrorless and a Mamiya RZ67 is mirrored. It makes no difference. They have two different focusing systems. They still take great photographs. And of course, better cameras, they are better. I'm not debating that fact, but the problem is you seem to be using this as you must have it to be successful. I can't think of a single photographer who is successful off the back of owning the latest mirrorless camera. Not one. And when I do find one, I will let you know, but I can't find one. I can't find a single photographer who's successful off the back of any camera at all. I can find a lot of photographers who are successful because they understand subject matter. They understand the zeitgeist. They understand style. They understand what people want to see. That is what makes a successful photographer. So if you're sat there going, I need to upgrade this, I need to upgrade that, I need this, I need that, I'm pretty certain you don't. I need a zoom lens for my Fuji because at the moment I have no lenses that I can use the camera with handheld. So I'm using a camera that's over a decade older than it, half the resolution, lower color depth, worse dynamic range, but you know what? I'm getting almost as good shots. And the difference between what I would get with the kit that I'm using now and what I would get with this new kit, it's negligible, really negligible. The only person who will notice is some dude in a forum on his keyboard at 3 in the morning going, I can tell it's clipped in the highlights just here. And that person's not your client. Furthermore, you'll be saying, but Scott, you have the Fujifilm GFX, you have the big Cambo technical camera, and yes, I have that kit, but that does not make my photographs. It is kind of the rock math of photography, my camera is. It does everything. It does all the technical, fancy, jiggery pokery that a photographer could dream of, and it has all of the tonality a musician or photographer may dream of. But if I choose the wrong thing to photograph and I photograph it in the wrong way, it makes no difference. If I photograph the right thing in the right way with the wrong kit, it's still a better photograph. The reason I have that kit is because I enjoy using it. And I do think that this is more so than spec and cost, a bigger reason to buy a camera is because you enjoy it. My daily squeeze, my go-to, my desert island camera, I own because I enjoy it. This is not practical. This is 35mm film. It's mechanical. What are we at here? See, I'm gonna guess an exposure to take a shot. 60th, 2.8. Got my dog in the background, got all of you in the background as well. Everyone smile. This is not a better camera than anything else I could take out with me, but I love using it. And loving using your kit is important. Assuming you've got the money to buy the kit you use, don't just go, Scott said if you love your kit, you should buy it. I'm gonna go and buy a brand new Leica. Don't go and do that. Make sure you can afford it first, as always. But just don't feel hemmed in by kit. If you can't shoot a wedding on a 5D Mark I, buying a new camera is not going to fix your problems. If you can't shoot the Olympics on a 5D Mark I or any other camera of that ilk, buying mirrorless is not going to fix your career. Your problems are bigger than that if you can't do it with simple kit.